What's up, everyone? I'm your host, Brian, and I'm here with a continuation of the My Perfect Car Week 2022 edition. But this video is a special edition of sorts. It is a McLaren Autocross with the brand new Artura. This is my first ever autocross, if you can believe that. I have tracked my car, but I have actually never done an autocross. And this event originally I thought was going to be in my own car with my McLaren 12C. But when I got to the event, I was very pleasantly surprised to see a whole fleet of brand new McLaren Arturas running the autocross, and I came to the realization that I am going to get to do that too.
I think we're running Arturas. Oh my god. Dude, that's sick. Oh my god, that's sick. We get to run Arturas, and I think we get to run Arturas.
You get to run Arturas.
Oh my god. I'm so excited.
You're what?
I am so excited. I thought we were gonna run our own car. I think we get to run Arturas.
So this is about autocross. It's about autocrossing my car for the first time. It's also about autocrossing the McLaren Artura. Therefore, there is a lot to break down about the car itself, about my experience. But before I jump into all that, I want to say huge and special thank you to McLaren San Francisco, Navin, Dan, Trystan, Nate, Billy, everybody there, the whole crew, and everyone for putting on this event, and of course, allowing me to be a part of it. It was so incredibly well done, amazing hospitality, along with an amazing experience to boot. Definitely a memory that will last a lifetime. This event was held at the Salinas Airport, which is maybe 40-ish minutes outside of the Pebble Beach area. I was trying to get there on time. Turns out I didn't give enough time. I ended up arriving about 5 minutes after the start. It was penciled in for about an hour and a half. When I arrived, I had to queue up behind a McLaren 765 LT. We put our hazards on and we went from the outskirts of the airport to the autocross track.
Oh, they're running the Artura. Sick.
When we got there, there was a long line of amazing customer vehicles that were parked basically on a runway of sorts. It would have been worthy of its own car show.
Thank you very much.
That's an amazing color, wow. There was a full-fledged building, a structure that McLaren had erected, which had the check-in. It had a section of the brand new shoe collaboration that they've got. It had a couple of F1 racing simulators. And then outside of that, there were a couple of cars on display, a McLaren Elva of note, a couple of food trucks, which had incredibly good food, and then the autocross track and staging area itself. And that was an interesting thing about this event, is having never driven autocross and being first thrown out there in the McLaren Artura, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how hard it was going to be to learn the course. I didn't know how fast or slow I was going to be, and I didn't know what sort of improvement I would realize. So with the Artura, we did 5 laps total. 2 of the laps were practice laps. The very first lap was in a single file behind a McLaren 720S, and that was to get to know the course. It actually, being only about a 30-second course at pace, was very, very easy to memorize. The second time out was on my own, a little bit faster. And then there were 3 timed laps, and I'm not the fastest. I knew I wasn't going to be the fastest, but I personally wanted to see improvement in my own lap times. And I think the first time out, I maybe did a 39-second lap. And it steadily improved until my last lap in the Artura was a 32.6. I have no doubt had I had more laps in the Artura, I would have continued to improve this time, but instead I got to switch over to my own car, the McLaren 12C, where I continued to improve my lap times until I got the 12C to a 30.1. And then the day was over. The big thing of note here, I've got other videos on my channel of the McLaren Artura, one with a very detailed close-up look. I had an opportunity to drive this car once before, and I was very impressed by it, even though it is a very different car. And that's the thing is, I've seen other reviews where people try to compare the Artura to something that they already know, and I just don't see the point of that. When I first tried out this car, knowing it's a hybrid twin-turbo V6, it's just so different from anything else McLaren has already done that I went in with a clean slate, no expectations, and I wanted to see what it was all about. I will say it's very hard to compare the Artura head-to-head to my 12C. The V6 motor obviously is not going to have as much top-end power, but when it's augmented with the electric motor, it does things so differently. The 12C in the 1500 to 2000 RPM range is completely anemic. You can mash on the gas and you will not go anywhere. When you drive this car, you learn to keep the revs up. In the Artura, they had me basically at 1500 RPM on an on-ramp that was a inclined hill, and I mashed the gas and we just took off. So the electric power augmenting the internal combustion engine just gives you a completely different power band. It's quite impressive. And the big thing about this car that I was concerned about was the weight, because it's a hybrid powertrain, except it's not something to be concerned about at all. McLaren somehow kept the weight magically around 3,000-ish pounds, I believe, 3,031, maybe 32. I don't know, I actually didn't memorize the specs. The big thing I did was drive it and push it. And the Artura, for the first time out there, trying to push this car was just very, very familiar to me. McLarens have great visibility, and the McLaren Artura is no different. I was able to get this car to roughly ballpark the same sort of lap I would do in my own car, a car that I'm familiar with. And to me, that's a testament to the fact that this is, in fact, a true McLaren offering. It's very well done. It looks gorgeous on the autocross track when you're watching it both from the inside and the outside. And so that's sort of my big takeaway here is I had an opportunity to really push this thing, and I came away nothing but impressed with what I saw. And I will also say, to close things out, that I came away equally impressed with just how amazing the 12C is. The hydraulic suspension in the 12C is very different from the Artura, but it's just magic. It's magic on a racetrack, it's magic on an autocross course. And so it was just an epic event, beautiful day, beautiful area, amazing hospitality, and an opportunity to thrash around one of the newest supercar offerings on the market. I came away very impressed. I hope that you enjoy this footage, and stay tuned. I've got the rest of the day 2 video coming up shortly. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more, definitely appreciate you hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel if you're so inclined. And I will see you at the next one.